Good to go. What's the website? I think that takes an extra minute.
it
I
does.
forget we have to
Yeah,
put it
it's
on
always the website because it goes live instantly on Facebook, but we are all set.
Okay, Dan, good morning. We're all set when you're ready.
Morning, everyone. It is October 15th, 8 a.m. I'd like to call the Audit and Finance Committee meeting to order. First item on the agenda is to accept the minutes of the September 27th committee meeting, Audit and Finance. Looking for a motion.
I'll move. So,
Second, all in favor? Right?
Aye.
Carried. At this point, I'd like to open the public comment period. If anyone wishes to speak, please state their name and address for the record. You have 5 minutes. Hearing none, we will move on to business. Review and approval of the amended 2022 budget. Stacy.
Yes, thank you, Dan. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for making some time this morning. The proposed 2022 budget that the Audit and Finance Committee reviewed on September 27th essentially was approved contingent upon 2 line items, which relate to the salary and benefits for the executive director. So for your consideration today is approval of the budget for proposed budget for 2022 that will go to the board next week. And that includes an increase to the salary line by $5,000 and an increase to the benefits line by approximately $765, which is represents about 7.65% of the benefits for
FICA and Medicare.
Thank you. And that's the only changes.
Thank you, Stacy.
Those are-
Any questions from anyone?
I do have a question. So I know there was some conversation at the Personnel Committee and that conversation is continuing. So I guess the question I have is, until the Personnel Committee is through its process, do we know what we should set the salary line at?
I would probably defer to Jim on that one. Or Dan, yeah.
Well,
actually, straight.
so our meeting at the Personnel Committee meeting turned out to be a little more involved than we had contemplated. We have a follow meeting scheduled for Tuesday. The purpose of which is to get a final resolution. The number that we shared, at least a preliminary resolution, was for 160, which is the 5,000 or half of the 10,000 increase, which is the 5,000 that's reflected in the budget. Was a placeholder. It could certainly go up, it could certainly go down, but we wanted to at least have a very comfortable working number, and that was the sense of the committee. Joe is on the committee. I see Cheryl's on here too, but I think that's a pretty accurate.
And what I might recommend with today's action, if you recall, last year we did do a budget modification following a discussion with the budget last year. That could be one direction that the Audit and Finance could approve today. Should the full board make personnel and or full board make recommendations for changes, there is the process of a modification that we could do if necessary.
Okay, and that's helpful. I just didn't want this committee's action to in some way tie the hands of the other committee's conversation. That's all.
Understood.
So let's see, the line item is $487,520, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, we could increase it contingent on the decision of the,
So, yeah, I got one question there. So this reflects a half a year of the salary, is that?
Yeah, so the salary, strictly the salary line is split with the chamber. The benefit line currently is being paid for by the agency.
Yeah, I forgot, because when I looked at this number, I says, that looked a little light from what we talked about, but that makes sense now, right? So it adds up in my head.
Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, I think for expediency, I think perhaps the recommendation, Dan, I would make is that the audit and finance could approve the budget, but at any point in time, the board can make a modification. So I appreciate your point, Brian, but I don't think it would tie any hands.
Casey, I have one question on the salary line. Does that include your total wages, or does that just have the split of the wages that's shared with the chamber?
Yeah. It includes the total, and then
there's
we
an
back
adjustment. The net number on that line is with the chamber portion removed.
With the chamber removed, okay,
That makes sense.
thank you. So I guess then it looks like we can look for a motion to approve and move it to the full board for approval. There's no other questions.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the budget as presented.
Second,
All in favor?
I
Carried.
agree with us.
And I have one question more for Teresa. I'm just wondering if it would make sense from a budgeting perspective to split the salary, even though it's the same salary for the executive director, show it in two components, show it in a chamber component and a agency component, because we all know that it gets split, but everybody else in the world doesn't know that. And, our cost is half of what it appears to be. And I'm not sure that that's an accurate reflection to the rest of the world of what's going on here. So just a thought. I don't know if that makes practical sense or not, but I'm just thinking from an optics perspective, it kind of does.
Yeah, and I understand that. I will run that by John, because John is the one who, when this originally transpired, wanted it netted. So I guess I will run that by him and see what his thoughts are on that. I have no problem adding that.
Yeah, I guess it would still be netted, right? But just from anybody.
On 2 lines, it would.
Yeah.
It would show 2 lines with the 1 line, right? And it might make more of a just so people understand what we're doing here. Without
I
us.
totally understand. And if you don't mind, I'll run that by John.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Anything else? I don't think we have any old business. Look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
Second.
carried. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Have a good
Travels
day.
next week, and we'll see you soon. Thank you all.